Let's call it Balloon Gate. A Chinese spy balloon appears floating over American airspace.
Breaking news, the U.S. tracking a suspected Chinese spy balloon flying over the United States. This is a picture of the balloon, and that balloon is the size of 3 buses, and it was over Billings, Montana. Video from our affiliate in Billings also shows it flying high in the sky over the city, right? I mean, it's there, very visible. U.S. officials said the balloon was observed over Montana after flying over Canada. President Biden has been briefed on the situation, and a senior defense official says he requested options on how to deal with the massive balloon. The military has so far decided against shooting it down.
How does this happen? And why didn't President Biden order it to be shot down?
Why the hell hasn't Joe Biden shot this thing down yet?
We ought to bring this darn thing down. We have the capabilities and tools to do that. I'm confident that we could have done so safely. I think we probably still can do so safely.
They could have shot that balloon down, and the biggest risk might have been hitting a cow, a prairie dog, or an antelope.
This is a brazen act. And so at the political level, we have to push back. We have to defend American sovereignty. And we have to make clear to the Chinese that we're not going to tolerate this.
They're overflying our nuclear sites, and they keep getting away with it because we let them. There's no consequence.
But for nearly 3 days, it remained hovering over U.S. airspace, making the U.S. look weak and defenseless, as China initially and falsely claimed it was just a weather balloon. Quite naturally, it was the aircraft that launched 1,000 memes. Now, the balloon didn't just drift. It is at least to some degree capable of being directed and navigated, which suggests, but does not prove, that the Chinese did it intentionally. And get this, there is or was a second Chinese spy balloon over the Americas.
Breaking news right now from the Pentagon, which is now confirming there is a second Chinese balloon flying over South America, following multiple sightings reported over Colombia and Venezuela.
And a third? Now, according to anonymous sources that the legacy media loves to quote, like CNN, only too happy to publish anonymous sources, Chinese spy balloons appeared over American airspace during the Trump administration. The problem is, every single Trump official, from the Trump National Intelligence Director to the Trump Secretary of Defense, says it's not true. And John Bolton, a former national security advisor under Trump, turned Trump critic, says it did not happen.
The other thing we heard from the Pentagon right after this happened last week as we were monitoring it was that this actually happened before when your boss, or former boss, former President Trump, was in office. We're now learning from a senior administration official who says those previous occurrences were discovered after the Trump administration left office. I think you, as National Security Advisor, can you answer how did a Chinese spy balloon get into U.S. airspace and someone like you was not told, someone like former President Trump was not told, the former Pentagon chief, Mark Esper, said he was not told about any of this? How did that happen?
Well, as far as I know, every Trump administration official who's been asked has said they didn't know anything about it. I will say this, if there was any actual knowledge that these balloons were over the United States and higher authority wasn't told, that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. That's not what the Biden administration is saying. I wrote these words down. I was so stunned by them. One official told Fox News that the balloons went undetected, and then said, two things can be true at once. This happened and it wasn't detected. Well, if it wasn't detected when it happened, how did we detect it more recently? Did the Biden administration invent a time machine? What is the basis of this new detection? Now, I understand that the administration has offered to brief former national security officials from the Trump administration. They haven't called me. I'm not waiting by the phone for it, although I'd take the briefing if they offered it. I think Congress has got a lot of questions here. This was a botched effort from the beginning. And by the way, the fact that there were earlier transits of part of the United States territory, which I think the administration made public to say it's nothing new, don't worry about it, proves exactly the opposite. The very fact, if it is a fact, that the Chinese have tried this before should have alerted us and should have caused us to take action before the balloon crossed into American sovereign territory.
Now, there's no need to speculate on whether Trump would have shot down the spy balloon had this happened on his watch. The Chinese would not have tried this on his watch. So first, the Biden administration didn't take the Chinese spy balloon seriously, might have even bought into the Chinese lie that it was a weather balloon. Then they said, well, it also happened during the Trump administration, too. Then they finally shot it down.
The Associated Press were checking Twitter on several different official. Well, I believe it just happened there. That was it. Live, raw, and unfiltered. It appears that China spy balloon has now been shot down over the Atlantic Ocean. You are taking a live look here, live, raw, and unfiltered, as that balloon appears to be heading downward after it has been shot down.
Now, assuming there is a second and third spy balloon, it'll be interesting to see how the Biden administration responds. Well, despite the U.S. blowing right through the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling in January, the leftist White House still refuses to reduce spending. While our national leadership has buried their heads in the sand when it comes to fiscal responsibility, it is time to pull yours out. Now would be a great time to diversify into gold with Birch Gold. In times of high uncertainty and instability, gold is king. It's dependable. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Here's what you need to do. Visit LarryForGold.com to claim your free info kit on gold and then talk to one of their precious metal specialists. Think about this. To dig our country out of this mountain of debt, every single taxpayer in America would have to write a check for $247,000, and it's only getting worse. Protect yourself with gold today by visiting LarryForGold.com. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews, you can trust Birch Gold to protect your future. Visit LarryForGold.com today. That's LarryForGold.com right now. I know you guys are liking these giveaways, and this time is going to be the best one yet. For this giveaway, I want to invite you to join me at dinner at one of my favorite restaurants. That's right, you heard me right. Fine dining with the great Eldersky. We can talk about anything you want, and I'll answer all your questions. Well, almost all your questions. It'll be a great time for sure. So hurry up and go to winlarry.com to sign up. I'll be announcing the winner live on February 22nd, so make sure to stay tuned.